to this video. What I am going to show you is how you can change and edit your sprites while you are working in Game Maker Studio 2. We will be using Adobe Photoshop and Game Maker Studio. So the first thing you want to do is select what you want to change. Okay, so I want to change this background. First I will show you what it looks like in game, and then I will change it in Photoshop without closing Game Maker Studio 2. I'm going to see how that works out. It's very simple to do. You need to know is what sprite you are editing. To be editing background 6, sprite JH. So what you'll need to do is have your Game Maker Studio folder open. You need to navigate to the sprite you want to open. So here you see my sprite, which is just some crap that I made, but this is what it looks like. I put the date so you see it's real-time editing. I'm going to change this sprite for this scrolling background, and this is what that sprite looks like. So what you'll do is drag that sprite, which should be details PNG file. Just drag into Photoshop. I'm just going to create a new layer, and in this layer let's put some boxes. We'll try to keep this as simple as possible. We'll put some taller boxes. It's real simple. Control T, transform, change it up a little bit. There. No, need to make a triangle. Go 45 degree. Shit. Forgot to cut paste that, which is Control X, Control V. Now Control T, transform. I need to go to no, not transform, just rotate. Image rotate arbitrary 45 degrees. What the hell? Do it manually. That's looking good. I'm going to seal the bottom with just black bar. Then come in and make a few lines just to differentiate, I guess. I'm a very lazy artist if I'm not getting paid for it. But who isn't, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a demonstration. Okay, I'll just gray that. Okay, now that part's done. I want to make, I guess, some windows on here. So really simple, and I guess yellow. So now I have that part. I will copy paste it a few times. Oops. Quick navigation, Photoshop, hold Alt and mouse wheel, zoom in and out. Hold CTRL and mouse wheel, scroll left and right. Very useful. Okay, so this will be our window. Oh, shit. Need to move that back. Okay, so I will Control-Shift-C to copy all of that. Control-V to paste it as a single piece. Then I will put that piece here. And do the same thing. Control-Shift-C, copy, Control-V, paste, which give you that. So now, all the useless layers can be removed. Let me put that back. What is this? Remove that. We only want this now. Okay, so go back to that layer and just zoom out some. We'll take our window, put it in place. We'll make some more windows. Just copies, copy, copy, copy. So I have some windows on this one. Then we'll put smiley face on this one. With ear-to-ear grin. And I think we can make his face be pink. because why not? And then I'm going to put the reason I made this tutorial. Especially since I know I borrowed some code from this person and forgot to credit them. So this video is actually made based on something they'd said about sharing ideas. Pick a nice, good color. Green, color of money. Put that right there, and then you just save the sprite. You want to save it as PNG, overwrite it. When we go back over to GMS2 2, we will get this error. Project directory modified. It tells you something changed. Click reload. And now you see our bootleg city shows up. So I'm going to run it, and you will see all this stuff took place, and then I will demonstrate that again using a simpler sprite. I'm going to edit the ship itself. Come along now, Johnny. I will just go straight into editing ship. Okay, let's see. Object, ship, action, place. So we want to find that sprite. Action, place. We need to figure out where that is. It's going to be SPR ship side, and this is our ship. Okay, so what I'm going to do is change this sprite, so you can see the ship is blue and white. While I'm in here tinkering with it, I'm just going to drop that into Photoshop, and I will make some changes. I'm going to turn those green. Just simple changes, I guess. I'll just make those green. Good enough. Let's check on you. What happened here? Entering main loop, and now you see our bootleg sprite we just made does reflect. The changes do reflect here in the video. I was messing around with this earlier, so the ship is flashing red and blue. I'm going to add green to that. In fact, I'm just going to leave it running while I do that. Here back in Photoshop, we've changed one frame of animation for that sprite. And so we'll just save it. Then we'll close this. Then we'll go back to GMS2 2, which will throw the error. Click reload. And when we find our ship again, we look at the sprite, and we see now it has a green variation. I will go back in and make one more alteration as demonstration. We'll change this one now. Drag into Photoshop. I'm going to zoom in and give it some different colors. Let's go with hot pink. Why not? No one cares. Then we'll change that. I actually find that some shades of pink and green look really, really well together. Wait, I did green already. Let's go with red. Oh, that's nauseating. Okay, so then we file, save. Return to GameMaker Studio 2. See, error comes, something changed. Go to reload. Now you see our ugly pink one shows up, our green one shows up, the other two that I did show up as well. So when we go to run our project again, all the changes that we did in Photoshop and saved will reflect in GameMaker Studio 2 if you choose to reload. If you choose to save, you're going to lose it. So you don't want to do that. When you edit something in Photoshop, just save it there, and here reload it, and everything should work out perfectly fine. While this is loading, I will explain what this clusterfuck of a project is. This was in essence just practice, making a shmup. This is my activator. When things touch that, other stuff happens. Timelines would be better, but way back here we have this stuff. This blue line here will take exactly 1 minute to reach this yellow line. When this blue line touches the yellow line, it will take this green bar and bring it with it, which triggers the end of the stage, take you to next stage, whereupon you find power-ups and other stuff. This project will never get finished. It was just for practice. So, the project should be opening very soon. Boom. So now you see the colors that we put in the ship are there, as well as the other things we edited in Photoshop while still working in GameMaker Studio 2. So this little half-assed project. Okay. Now I have my shield, which should... Come on. I missed it. Okay. There's my shield. There's my other one, so power it up. So, okay. First, we get that. Shit. Starting over. Other things that are in this project were some of the mechanics of an old game called Einhander. The ship can speed up, it can slow down. It uses the shield setup from R-Type, and so you can even call it back. Can I get it? No. I missed one shield. So now, when we go to next stage, we still have shield, but let's do that again. I don't remember what buttons speed up and slow down. Let's get that. We have charge shot. Then our miniature R-Type shield. You see now the shield shoot up and down. Let's call it back. And oh no. I want that. Okay, that's more important. We'll get another shield. See? So now, if shield is shot off, it just disappeared. I'll fix later. But anyway, you get the point. Thank you for watching my demonstration on how to edit your sprites while you are still working in GameMaker Studio 2. Thank you. This is signing off. welcome back to, I guess this will be part two, to responding to some things that were in a brief online conversation with my favorite Game Maker Studio 2 developer. We briefly discussed rendering and stuff with Premiere Pro. This is a 4-minute video I made. There is a lot of stuff. Making something like this, there's a lot of animation and stuff put in. This guy up here, I animate, and you'll see he slide onto screen and choose air for a minute, and there's a lot of other stuff like this chattering skull, which was made from this still image, and I just made him chatter for this, video. When working in Premiere Pro, one of the biggest time sinks is rendering. If you do a project in Premiere Pro with 100 pieces to it and a bunch of effects and crap, when you go to render that, it's going to take forever. So what you do is you minimize your work area to the part you're working on. You can see I'm only looking at this here. So if I sequence render, it'll be very fast, and it will only be this one small segment. Now, if you make a habit of doing this from the very beginning of your project, you will find that at the end, you don't have to wait 3 hours for something to render. But anyway, the purpose of this part of my video is to demonstrate a pretty decent way to export your videos without a lot of time loss. No, I don't want to save that. Okay, so first I should tell you that I use totally OBS Studio for screen recording. I also have in excess of 4 monitors on my desk across 2 different PCs, but I'm just chaotically clusterfucked like that. Let us get to the demonstration. Okay, so you take your video. In OBS, you can determine, you can totally determine your output to video, and you want to set your folder and your recording format to MP4 if you're going to use Premiere Pro. So I recorded this. You just drop it in. You will get this error. Always change sequence settings. Okay, so we have our project there, which is, I just record this. What happened? What did I do wrong? Always something. Okay. Hello? I will need to reset my workspace. Put this back to editing. There. But that's too big, so you shrink it down some and make sure that everything fits in the window. And this is the video I recorded. it is roughly 20 minutes long. Okay, so when exporting, I'll just run you through it. Let's go to File, Export, Media. Here, of course, is H.264. I prefer to use YouTube widescreen or YouTube HD 1080p by 25. Now here is where you can alter the size of your files and how long it takes to export. You don't want variable bitrate, especially if you have a lot of text on screen. You want constant bitrate. Your target bitrate, reduce it. I usually go with 2 bits. And then everything else stay the same. Click here and it will take you to your saving folder. Give it name and click export. This should take significantly less time than exporting with other settings. And the bitrate specifically has a lot to do with that. And this wasn't rendered yet, so I have a bit of a delay. Let's just render that. It's going to take a second. There really is nothing to render, to be honest, so I'm just going to export. Yeah, all the settings remain the same. So if I were to come in and start a new project over top of this, the export settings would stay the same. And you just begin your export. This will probably take 10 or so minutes. It will render as it does its job. But I will finish patching all this together and then I will upload this video.